The House passing a bill to extend the FISA court ahead of this weekend's deadline. The Senate is expected to vote on it on Monday. The bill does include some reforms, but former acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker says those reforms do not go far enough, and he joins me now. Matt, great to see you. You know, when you think of all the mistakes that the FISA court made in the Russia investigation, signing off on altered FBI documents on the Trump dossier, which of course was never verified by the FBI, and all of this leading to the spying on U.S. citizen, at least one, if not more. A lot of people just say, just get rid of the courts if they've gone that far to accept stuff that is not true. What more have they done that we don't even know about?
Right, and everyone needs to remember what Horowitz found as the FISA abuses, and DOJ and the FBI have tried to clean up some of those mistakes. And this bill, I think, goes some distance to address the concerns about civil liberties and individual privacy that should be addressed. And I know that as the Senate takes it up, there's a chance that there could be some amendments offered by Rand Paul and Mike Lee that would not allow the FISA, these tools that are necessary to combat terrorism and to combat foreign intelligence agencies. And I think they're important and necessary tools. But at the same time, we can't have them used against a president or an American citizen like they were in 2016. And so I'm going to be very interested as to how this bill is improved in the Senate. And ultimately, they do need to reauthorize these three areas. One is this idea of a lone wolf actor that could be considered an agent of a foreign power when they're sympathetic to somebody like al-Qaeda, a very important and necessary tool. I think, the roving wiretaps where people are using burner phones to avoid surveillance, I think is another important tool. But again, we have to address some of these abuses. And if we don't, then I just don't think this bill should be reauthorized.
Well, the president himself has indicated that he would veto the House bill as it is now. So you're not alone in objecting to the words now. But from what you're saying, what I'm hearing is you don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. That is, there is something about FISA that is worth keeping, despite the awful mistakes that they have made.
Exactly, and we can't stand for those mistakes, and there's been some improvements. I think this new bill is working towards that end. Bill Barr supports the bill as it came out of the House, and but I think we need to protect individuals' privacy and American citizens. There needs to be a difference between foreign agents and American citizens. And that's where I think we got into some of the trouble in 2016. So again, I hope that they can improve this bill in the Senate and have it so we don't lose these tools that are still important and necessary and supported by law enforcement, but at the same time address what happened in 2016.
It is interesting that the president and his attorney general differ on this particular bill. The attorney general thinks he should sign it as is, or it is acceptable. Maybe it could be improved. What would you tell Attorney General Barr about what is bad about the House bill, just in a couple of points?
Well, again, I think there needs to be enhanced protections for American citizens so we don't see what happened to Carter Page and others happen again. And then at the same time, I think the idea that you can collect evidence in a FISA situation, a FISA warrant, and then use that in Article 3 courts for criminal prosecutions, I think is a very dangerous standard, especially since the FISA thresholds are lower. So again, I know that there are those that are trying to improve this and find that balance where we keep these tools and use them for their proper purpose.
All right, let's see if Mr. Rand Paul can whip it into his shape. Former acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker, good to see you, Matt. Thank you very much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you, David. Good to see you.